well, that's when you say, okay, that's criminal because you are warehousing people. That's it. And I don't, there's no other way to say it because that's what you're doing. When you bring people in and you say under the auspices that you are caring for them and that you are a nursing home, it's not a nursing institution. This is a nursing home. These people are living there. This is their home. And you're in their home.
Welcome to the Alz Authors Podcast. We're so glad you found us. We're the global community of authors writing about Alzheimer's and dementia from personal experience to light the way for others. I'm Mary Ann Shuko, a registered nurse, author, and dementia daughter.
And I'm Christy Byrne-Yates, a licensed educational psychologist, dementia daughter, Alz author, and coach focused on the sandwich generation. Please join us for bi-weekly episodes with our authors as we talk about their dementia journeys, sharing intimate details and painfully obtained knowledge to help others currently on that path.
We hope these stories offer you comfort and support as we strive to break the silence and stigma surrounding a dementia diagnosis.
May one of our authors speak to your experience.
This is the Whole Care Network. Helping you tell your story one podcast at a time. Content presented in the following podcast is for information purposes only. Views and opinions expressed in this podcast are solely those of the host and guest and may not represent the views and opinions of the Whole Care Network. Always consult with your physician for any medical advice and always consult with your attorney for any legal advice. And thank you for listening to the Whole Care Network.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Alz Authors Untangling Alzheimer's and Dementia. Hi, Christy. How are you doing today?
I'm great, Marianne. It's great to see you, and I'm excited for today's episode.
Yes, today we have a very special guest. We've been waiting to have her back to the podcast for quite a while, and it's Susie Singer-Carter.
Yes, she's amazing, and I'm just trying to hold back because I really am fangirling because this is such a wonderful treat for us. And so she's got powerful films that really elevate the conversation. So
yes, for sure. Susie's been in this space for quite a while, like us, and her she does the podcast Love Conquers All. So if you haven't had a chance to tune into that, please find it, subscribe, listen. You can catch up on all the back episodes that you might have missed. It's really an informative, helpful, and entertaining podcast as well.
Absolutely.
And Susie also joined Alz Authors with her short film, My Mom and the Girl.
Yes.
Which is based upon her experience with her mom and Alzheimer's. And that starred the late, great Valerie Harper.
Yeah,
it was her final performance. And I don't know about you, but I grew up with Rhoda. It was like my favorite show. So.
Absolutely. Mary Tyler Moore Show and Rhoda, loved them both, loved her. So it was what a stunning performance too. Really great.
Yeah, that's a great one. So you might want to find that and tune into that because you'll enjoy it and it will enlighten you in a number of ways. But she's here joining us today because she has a new docuseries coming out and it'll be on Amazon Prime. It's a 3-part series. Each one is an hour long. And we will be featuring it in our film festival this fall. It's called No Country for Old People. And unfortunately, it came written from Susie's experience with her mom in long-term care. Yeah. And I don't think it went very well. A lot of her expectations weren't met. And she did this little expose to show people what is going on.
Right.
In nursing care homes and what people need to be aware of and what people can do about it. It started an organization called ROAR. And I'll let her tell everybody what that stands for. So we are really looking forward to having Susie in the film festival. And now we're going to get to talk to her.
Yay. So first of all, yay for the film festival. Yay that Susie's bringing her film to be part of this, and yay that we get to talk to her. So yeah, let's go
Yes.
to it.
So,
Hello.
Susie, how are you?
Wow, thank you. That makes me feel so nice. As I sit here in the dentist office, so in case you hear it echoey, here I am in my dentist office because didn't want to miss this interview. And my dentist and I have a very close relationship now, unfortunately. But here we are. So, whatever, at any port in
That's
the storm,
great.
right? As they say.
That's great.
Yeah, that's a good point. Now, does he have any experience with Alzheimer's or dementia?
Not yet, but
Yeah.
who
Not
knows?
yet.
But I just want to say, like on a high note, before we dive into the world of a nursing home industry, but speaking about Valerie Harper, I remember we were in the middle of shooting and we were resetting up it happened to be the scene, a very emotional scene that I was in with her, and we were in using my loft and to shoot in, and we were in one of the other bedrooms waiting for them to light, and Val brought in a whole handful of Skittles from our table of food, and she's sitting there and just showing, which color do you like and which one do you want? I like the red. Do you like the red? No, I like the orange. Perfect. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm sitting on my bed with Valerie Harper and Rhoda,
Oh my
eating
gosh.
Skittles like you do.
Yeah. So cool. I
Lucky
love
you.
that.
Such a
Yeah.
love. She was such a gift. So just
She
what a
was.
gift. I can't miss a chance to speak highly of an angel. She was an
Right.
angel.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
talented and funny in that voice.
Real and
Loved her
real.
Yeah,
voice.
and real.
Great.
Just authentic and real, and a powerhouse without flaunting it, just one of
Mhm.
those classy human beings. Can't
Yeah,
say enough about her. Anyway, thank you for having me on today.
you're so welcome. So, who are you working with in this new docuseries?
Well, yeah, I mean, we are such a small team. We don't even want to think about it because undertaking something this big with such a small team, as unless you're working with, say, like Imagine Films or something like that, most documentaries are labors of love. They're not money makers. They really aren't. Even the Academy Award winning ones are not money makers per se. So if you're going to choose to do a documentary, it's because you really care. So we have a very small team, other than our, the few people we hired to do whatever the shooting and da da da. But I'm very proud of our team. My partner Don Priest, who's my producing partner, and the two of us edited this entire project, which is a massive undertaking.
Yeah.
I hired one other researcher in the beginning, and then we hit the writer's strike, and I wasn't allowed to hire anybody else because no one could work while we were on strike. So, but I was so fortunate because there was a miniseries that I saw 3 years ago on Hulu called Dopesick. And
Yes.
right? And it was about the OxyContin crisis. And
Right.
and it was really following the investigation and the prosecution of Purdue Pharma for their off marketing and their false marketing rather of OxyContin. And the lead prosecutor was a gentleman played by Peter Sarsgaard, and the gentleman's name is Rick Mountcastle, and who is a fierce retired federal prosecutor. He was retiring when I met him in 2022, when I was going through my hell with my mother in the nursing home. The reason why I met him was because in the final episode of the series, his partner said to him in the show, I think I have our next case. It's another pharmaceutical, and it's Abbott Labs for off marketing this drug called Depakote to nursing homes. I was like, whoa, what? I mean, that's what
Yeah.
my mother and I had no idea that they were even giving her Depakote. Depakote is a black box labeled drug for people with dementia and of people of a certain age, but it's often used, it's off marketed to, relax them but really what it's doing is chemically restraining them. So it took my mother from this incredibly healthy, physically healthy human being to immobile, in a wheelchair, incontinent, in a matter of 4 months. And I thought it was her Alzheimer's progressing until her regular GP said to me, "Your mom, I just had what do you call it? I just saw her for a checkup and she is on a drug called Depakote. Do you know this?" I said, "No." And he said, "Do you want me to take her off of it?" And I said, "Yes, please." Well, she never recovered from being incontinent or being immobile, but we did get some of her cognitive back because she was like a zombie. I thought she was dying. I really did. I didn't know this was actually halfway through her journey with Alzheimer's. So she really lived way too long, incapacitated because of this drug. So I thought I really wanted to have Rick on my podcast to talk about this chemical restraining that's
Yeah.
actually very prevalent in our country.
Yeah.
And so he did come on and talk to me, and turned out that not only, had he gone after pharmaceuticals, he'd also gone and prosecuted nursing homes for over 20 years for fraud and neglect and abuse across the country. And what he was seeing was that, this is a systemic issue. That's the first time I ever heard that phrase. And that this was what was happening to my mom was not, it particularly just an isolated case with my mom's 5-star facility that she was in. This is, it's a systemic crisis. And that's how I met him. And he said to me, you're a filmmaker. Are you thinking of doing anything about this?" And I said, "As a matter of fact, I I think I am," but I was scared to say yes because it was such a big undertaking, because I knew if I can't scratch the surface. And it's going to have to be, I have to be all in or nothing. He said, "I'm throwing my hat in the ring. I wanted to know what I'm going to do with my 15 minutes of fame, and now I know." And so there we were, off and running. And here is this man who vetted every single interview we did, which was over close to 100 interviews of families and experts and doctors and frontline providers and facility owners and administrators and whistleblowers, everybody that has touched something within this problem. And lo and behold, wasn't he right? This is a problem that's been going on for over 50 years. Same thing.
Wow.
Same thing. Yeah.
Wow.
Crazy.
And that, I mean, can I ask for you then to engage in this? Like just hearing you talk about this, because my parents did eventually live in an assisted living memory care. I think they both were happy. I'm not aware of them taking Depakote. I was with them at every medical appointment, so I didn't see that. But my question to you though is, but I know these things happen, right? I know these things are happening, and definitely the chemical restraining is, I think, far more prevalent than any of us know. It had to be so vulnerable for you to go back and revisit this. So, how did you prepare yourself to engage in this endeavor?
Yeah, that's a good question, because one of the things that was sort of motivated me into doing this was that after speaking to Rick, he said to me, what you're telling me from my mother's story was criminal. You need to at least file a case. Whether you win or not, it goes on record, and it's important to put it on record.
Yeah.
And I have never filed a lawsuit in any way, shape, or form. And I was like, I revere this man. And I said, he's right. I get it. I need to put them on record. But most of us don't want to. When it's over, it's over. We're so burnt out. We're so heartbroken. We're so tired. We've been bullied and pushed and gaslit and you name it. It's been, and treated like we're the enemy, and so on and so on and so on. Nothing about it feels good. And then on top of it, you lose your loved one in a horrific, unnecessary way.
Right.
But when I got turned down by 4 or 5 lawyers here in Los Angeles, who at the final one said to me, "I'm going to give you a little gift." He said, "The reason why everyone's turning you down is because the nursing home that your mom's at is very beloved and very supported. So
Yeah.
I was going to touch that with a 10-foot pole. And so I didn't know what to do. I went on Google and I found an organization called Canner, which is the California Attorneys uh, Association for Nursing Home Reform. They're up in San Francisco. And they assign you, if you have a strong case, they'll assign a lawyer for you. So I sent them my case and they said, absolutely, we're going to assign this lawyer. And I said, are you sure? I said, because everyone turned me down. And are you sure I have a good case? Whatever. And they said, who are the lawyers? I gave them the list. They said, well, they can't be that good. They're not on our list. And and so I said to Rick, how might, I listened to a podcast with the woman that they connected me with, and she had a heart that was amazing. Her whole motivation for being an elder care attorney was because she saw what happened to her grandmother. And I thought, this is the woman I need to work with. She gets it. And see, I'm getting chills. So I said, what can I do as your lawyer? What would motivate you to choose a case? And he said, you're a filmmaker. Put
Hmm.
together some video. So I
Yeah.
did, and it turned out to be 2 hours of like a video, testimony. And she called me the night before our meeting. She said, we don't have to meet tomorrow because I had sent it to her. And she said, I thought I was going to watch 2 minutes of this thing and I can't stop watching it. I'm going to represent you.
Oh, wow.
So from
Wow.
there, that film, all the footage I put together was really the bones of what this documentary is.
Yeah.
Really what motivated that. And so it's been extremely hard to get back to your original question. It's been extremely hard
Hmm.
to relive it
Hmm.
daily basis. And
Yeah.
I had to compartmentalize. I don't know how I did it. I think my desire to teach other people to open the doors and let them see what's actually going on, because I felt sucker punched. And I
Hmm.
think that was my motivation to say, just mommy, you and I are on this together. Like I would look at her
Mhm.
videos and even the hard ones. Now it's very difficult. I can barely look at it right now. I still haven't mourned. It's only been 3 years and I
Yeah.
was off and running the minute she passed away.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I just keep seeing when I see her on the video when we were editing, and I would say, you and me, we got this. We're going to do something good. We're going to do something good.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because it really needs to change. It's
Yeah.
horrific. And it's good that your parents, they probably were in a good place. There are good places. That's really hard because those good places are up against the same challenges as and all the other places.
Right. And I think it was a good place, but I can tell you that they have been sued. And so I don't know very many that haven't had some lawsuits. And there's all, so I can't just say across the board, don't ever do this, because for some families, it might be the right solution, that might be the thing that's most needed. On the other hand, it's like, but you do have to be vigilant, and you have to pay attention.
And even
And
then, if you're vigilant, Christy, you
I
still
know,
may not be able to help. Like
I
I was
know.
vigilant,
Yeah.
and and I
Oh
do.
yeah, no, not to say that you weren't or that I wasn't. It's just, I mean,
No,
it's
we're
really
only
hard.
our hands are tied at some point because you're
Yeah.
going to keep hitting that wall because that administration is hitting the wall because of the way the business model is.
Yes.
So they're up against having to answer to people above them, and so on and so on and so on. And then the real culprits are veiled behind a corporate veil. And that's really what goes on,
Yes. And
right?
we want to trust
Yeah,
as sons and daughters. And we
yeah.
want to trust and we want to feel like we're doing the right thing.
Of
And
course we
so
do. But
it's
they bank
just,
on that too. They bank on that too because
yeah.
like one of our, I don't know if you know Howard Glickman, he's
Mm-hmm,
written
mm-hmm.
some books, and Howard is one of our experts, and he said, that's called buying the lobby. We go in as like loving family members, and we see this wonderful place, and we look around, and we go in, and everything is lovely and beautiful and wonderful, and we think, like I did, I said it on my podcast, like ad nauseum. Oh, I can sleep at night. I've got my mom in a place that is a 5-star place. There was a 3-year waiting list, and I got her in. It's the greatest thing I've ever done. I can sleep.
Yeah. Yeah.
And of course, we want that. And of
Yeah.
course, you go in and you might see a sign and you're like, I don't want to be I don't want to be that bitchy person. I don't want to be that naggy daughter. I'm not a helicopter daughter. I'm sure they're doing a great job. I'm sure they are. I'm sure they are.
Mm.
I'm not that woman that wants to go in and nitpick, I
No,
know.
I totally get it. I totally get it. And my parents were in one place and I did move them because I was like, this is not working. But anyway, yeah, this is a lot. So it is. And I feel you about having this opened up again, and the mourning process. I think a lot of our authors experience that sometimes. They've written a book and then they share it over and over again, and it's just still alive.
It can be brutal. It can be brutal,
But it's a huge gift, though, Susie. So I'm so happy that you're putting this out there for people to hear.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
That is what I hope. And I really feel as we're getting close to it, air starting to stream, and we're doing a big push in terms of social media. And I'm not that I haven't heard a lot of feedback, like that's my story. You're telling our story. That happened to me. That happened to my grandma. That happened to my son. That happened, like ad nauseum. But now it's like people are really, really, excited to like be vindicated to
Sure.
because we've all were told, what, you're experiencing caregiver stress. This is normal. That
Mm,
she's 89. This is UTIs are normal. Pressure sores are normal. You can't stop them, and it's like all that stuff is not true. True.
yeah. Yeah.
So we're told all that, and then to hear other people were told the same thing, and it's not true. It feels better. It feels better, and people want to know that. And I also want other people who go like I did, la 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 la. Nobody's old yet, and we're good. Not going to look over there, right? But like in This Is 40, the movie, blinking at 90, and that's so we have to look before we're in the crisis mode. Because when
Hmm.
you're in crisis, you can't make good decisions. You just can't,
Right.
right?
No, not at all. Yeah, it's just like your brain is your prefrontal cortex, right? It is shut down. You have blinders on and you are just trying to get through the day.
Your
And it's
cortisol is
hard.
like off the
Uh,
charts. You're gaining
yes.
weight. You're like, why am I fat? What happened? You're not sleeping.
I can't sleep. I'm irritable. What's going
Yeah.
on?
What is going on? I don't understand. But it's true. I mean, honestly, I've never been overweight. I gained like 25 pounds when I was taking care of my mom. And, wouldn't know it because I'm a thin person anyway, but I will trust me when I tell you, like,
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know. I was like, not sleeping for one thing. And if you don't sleep, your cortisol
Mm,
again, cortisol makes you fat. It just does. It's not
hmm.
healthy for you. It's not healthy. And just the stress alone is not healthy. So
Yeah.
when you know in your heart that something's wrong, like it's not right the way your loved one's being treated, you know it.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know it. You know it. It doesn't matter what they say. Like, no, she's fine. This is correct. No, let's just give her this. And, and it's like you have like one of like maybe one of the administrators will go in and say, "Oh, I just checked in on your mom and she's doing so well." And then you're there like 5 minutes later and all she is in a dark room staring at a wall. How
Yeah.
is that good?
Yeah. Yeah.
She's being good for them. They don't have to exert
Exactly.
any extra effort.
Exactly. You just think, and if you didn't live in the city and you are, a long distance caregiver, you'll never know.
Right.
You never
Right.
know.
I think that's a really, really good point. And there are a lot of people that it may not even be that you live in the same city. Listen, I used to live in Los Angeles. How many cities are in Los Angeles, right? I mean, they could be, and it takes you, listen, you have to get on the 10 or the 405. It's going to be 3 hours till you get to one place. Like they could be in Pasadena, and what are you going to do, right?
Like
So
you might as well take an airplane. I'm telling you,
that's
I had to
right.
move into my ex brother-in-law's home because it was 2 miles from the nursing home in 2022 for the last 6 weeks of my mom's life because getting there, because I was on the west side to the valley, was like an hour and a half,
That's right. Everybody in Los Angeles is a long distance caregiver, but
right?
And that can kind of feel the same way in, say, New York or any of these big, or what about people who, live in a rural community? There aren't a lot. And so there's like not a lot of choices. And so this long distance caregiving is, it is not just, 2,000 miles away kind of stuff. It may be very close, seemingly on, as the crow flies, but it doesn't work out that way. And it's really, really hard.
It's really, really hard, and we shouldn't have to play the games. Like I remember going at all different times so that they couldn't expect me,
Mhm.
and still in all, I became like persona non grata. I'd walk in and it'd be like it was like Frozen, the movie Frozen. It's like, everything suddenly, like everyone looked at me like she's here. And it's like, what? I'm a nice person. Like I'm like, I'm Pollyanna. Like I'm a good girl. Like I'm not here to yell at you, but seriously, take care of my mom, Like
Yeah.
at some point you're just like, what is going on? Like,
Yeah.
why
Yeah.
is there nobody here? Why are the halls empty? Why are poor people sitting in chairs going, I need to go to the bathroom and no one's there?
And I know you shot this, what, a couple years ago, right? It's been a while since you shot it. I mean,
Yeah.
but, and even now there is the crisis of we have more people that need care because those numbers are growing, and we have fewer people getting into this kind of work because, there's the corporate level, and then there's the ratios, staff to patient are not probably where they need to be.
No, like 100% not where they're supposed to
Yeah,
be.
and then we have people who, we have other crises that are happening right now that are dissuading people from getting into certain kinds of service, work, and it's
100%.
tough. It's
It's
tough.
our frontline providers, they experience what we talk about in the documentary, moral injury.
Mm-hmm.
So people that are vocational caregivers, CNAs and registered nurses,
Mm-hmm.
doctors.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, the suicide rate is exponentially growing. It's, I mean, I did a chat with the AMWA, which is the American Women's Association, Medical Association, and they talked about the numbers. In fact, one of their members, who is one of my interviewees, talks about the suicide rate of our frontline providers, which is absolutely heartbreaking. And then there's also this exodus of
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
leaving this vocation because it doesn't pay well.
No.
They bank on the business model banks on turnover, which is
Yeah.
most businesses don't, but they do because it keeps their price point low.
Yep.
They're not trained well, and they're completely understaffed. They are massively understaffed.
Yeah.
And when you're caring for people that are vulnerable, that have comorbidities, first of all, you can't keep up with that, let alone give them some sort of social interaction. And these are human beings, not widgets,
Right.
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah. And people who are mostly caring, that are, most people that choose to work in that industry are caring human beings. They go home and feel horrible.
Yeah.
Yep.
They feel
Yeah.
horrible. They don't want to do a bad job.
Yep.
No, agreed.
I understand that. I did it. So I worked in the first place I worked in for a nursing home as a CNA was the best. So I was really lucky, and that set the standard as to what is acceptable. So it was in an affluent community outside of Boston, which may or may not have been a factor. But I know that we only had 7 or 8 patients on our assignment. I worked a 3 to 11 shift. And if it was a really bad night, you might have 9, like if somebody called out sick. And so, oh my God, 9 patients. When I left there, I went to another place after I moved to New York, and we had 14 patients
Mhm.
per aide. So now I went from having twice as many, and you still have to do the work. And all you did was run, run, run. And people were incontinent. They would be sitting in it for like a long time, and trying to feed all those people. And during the dinner hour was like not possible. And then when I became a nurse, I worked in another place, and I remember trying to do the med pass. That was like, oh my God, I don't even know how anybody can even try to give, medications to 40 people in 60 minutes and do it well. But, I did leave, like that one place I went to where there was 14. I I said to my husband, I said, I can't work here. I can't do that. I can't be a part of it. That was how I felt. And one of the things that really bugged me is how the board of directors gave the administrator a brand new BMW, like a company car. And he was like bragging about that and pleased that he had that. And I was just sitting there going, wait a minute, we don't even have enough hands to take care of these people. And you're
Right,
giving this guy a BMW. And I
right.
worked in another place, and I remember and this was a good place too, but they said nobody's going to get a raise. They had like a staff meeting, nobody could get a raise. But they gave money to the executive director. I think they gave her a car too,
Of course they did.
you
That's
know?
the thing, the whole idea of, like, we call him out, Mark Parkinson, who is the head of ACH, whatever it is, ACHA, who basically are the lobby, the nursing home lobby, who says, straight out, we cannot, the Buy Back Better bill that Biden, proposed. Well, that's all great and good, but, we can't, there's no money to raise staffing levels. Yes, there is.
Yeah.
Yes, there is. They're
Mhm.
just lining their pockets.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Like they do everywhere with everything.
so that's, that's where you become, well, that's when you say, okay, that's criminal because you are warehousing people. That's it. And I don't, there's no other way to say it because that's what you're doing. When you bring people in and you say under the auspices that you are caring for them and that you are a nursing home, it's not a nursing institution. This is a nursing home. These people are living there. This is their home, and you're in their home.
Right. Right. So tell us about your mom. I know
Oh,
you love to talk about her.
well, my mom was one of my favorite people in the whole world. I'd go to see her. She had Alzheimer's, but we could talk, didn't matter. Music was everything because she was a singer. And we'd go in and I'd sing I'd play her cuts that she had recorded. And then I'd put on Neil Diamond, who was one of her favorites. And of course, I learned every word after that. I'd say, Mommy, how are you? She was like full blown in Alzheimer land. And then she'd say, I am great. I'm alive and the alternative sucks. She loved to be alive. She didn't want to be. She in whatever stage she was at, she embraced it. And this is, she's a smart woman. She wasn't, living in La La Land, but she just thought, you know what? This is what it is. It is what it is, and I'm here, and I just wish that people would know and not, I really want to get rid of the stigma and the misunderstanding of dementia, as you do, both of you do as well, because people write them off as if they're not there. I had the chaplain come in and say to me, "Don't worry about your mom. She's got Alzheimer's. She's demented. She's got holes in her brain. She doesn't know what's going on." And I
Mm.
said, I'm so sorry because actually you have holes in your brain because she knows what's going on. I can tell you right now, she doesn't like you.
Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely that, and then other people, it could be friends and family who don't even know how to do it. They don't know how to be with somebody, and they maybe take things personally that aren't personal, or and they forgot my name, so oh my gosh, and there's this person that's still there, and it's our job to connect with them and to let go of these expectations and to love who they are in the moment. And we've heard so many wonderful people, authors, talk about that. So absolutely, it's like you can't just write somebody off.
Yeah, if someone can't verbalize, it's like if someone gets in a car accident and has nerve damage, they can't walk anymore, right? So you can't say, "Oh my God, they can't just walk. You have legs, like walk." No, they can't walk anymore. So you need to help them walk. And if someone has Alzheimer's and they can't articulate anymore, so you walk in and you say, "Hey, mommy, it's me, Susie, your favorite daughter," and you don't make them work at it. You tell them who you are, and then they go, "Oh yeah, I love you. I love you," because they now you haven't shamed them
Right.
and you've given them dignity and you've given them, a way to get past that. And now you're off to the races. And people need to understand it is illness, just like any other illness that, if someone shakes from Parkinson, are you going to say, oh my God, you're shaking, they're getting water everywhere? Just, that's so cruel.
Right. Right.
It's cruel. And, or, even my own brother, I'm not going to, why aren't you visiting her? Well, she doesn't remember anyway. What? Yes, she does. Yes, she does. She remembers right here.
Yeah.
That's why
Yeah.
so many people died during COVID because they were isolated.
Yeah. Yeah. It
Not
was.
because they were sick, because they were isolated.
Yeah.
So,
So this is going to be such a great and you've already put out a wonderful movie, and here this docuseries. I think this is going to be so informative for people. What do you hope people take away from this? Like, what are there action steps you're hoping for, or messages you hope that they take to their care teams?
yes, all of that. And then I want to also say that, there's this issue, this business model that's been taking advantage and gaming the system. It's not new. It's been around for decades, for over 50 decades. They were writing about it then, they're still writing about it now. And traditional advocacy, as hard as the amazing advocates and activists who have been out there trying to change these legislations, get oversight, get enforcement, all those things that don't happen, it's not working. It doesn't work because the lobby's too strong. And so the reason that this is the whole reason why my partners and I have started this nonprofit called Roar, which is, I want people to become roariers and roar for reform. And it stands for respect, oversight, advocacy, and reform for long-term care. Because any hard issue in our society has been overcome by the collective, not from the top down, from the bottom up. And so it really needs the collective to, I want them to galvanize and to activate everyone to join this movement and demand change as constituents. That's our power. We might not have the pocketbook that the lobby has, but we have the power, and love is a power. Love is an amazing power. It's super strong. It's moved mountains. And so I think that that's the one thing we haven't tried yet, is a really, large national movement from the people as constituents, and shame our politicians into doing the right thing. Going to Congress, going to legislation has not worked. Bills have been, they've been introduced, they've been accepted, and then they die on the vine, just like the staffing mandate. So I really want to invite everyone, after you watch this, please, think about joining and
Yeah.
becoming a warrior. Use your voice for people who don't have one.
So let's say this again. It's ROAR: respect, oversight, advocacy, and
Form.
reform. Excellent.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah,
And
it's
so
great.
when is this premiering on Amazon Prime?
On August 1st, it starts streaming. It'll be on Amazon first, and then it's gonna like flood out into all of the platforms, which is really what I wanted. Thank you, Buffalo 8, as our distributor, for answering our desires and our prayers, because this is not to make money off of, all we want is for everybody to have a chance to know what's going on so that we can change it.
Yeah.
Is it going to take one day of rallying in the streets? No. Is it guys? It's not a one and done, but neither was the Me Too movement, neither was the LGBTQ movement, but all of those things have shifted, and we need to stay on it. It's so important because, it's not my mom's story, it's all of our stories.
Right. Yeah, and we're all getting older too.
Well,
Everybody.
exactly. This is the time because, as I said, the aging population is only growing, and we're living longer. And I'm a baby boomer. We're all starting to retire. I retired early, but lots of us. There's a bunch of us, right? And so
Yeah.
we're all going to live a lot longer. And so this is a critical mass, and it's important to. This is the time. So it's so timely and important.
It's important if you want to live longer, like we all strive to live longer. We want to be healthy, we do our yoga and we self-care and all that stuff. Well, what happens when your body, as much as you take care of it, it is programmed to break down. And do you want to live the last 10 years of your life without quality of care or quality of life? No. Why would you want to do that? That's a horrible sentence.
Yeah.
So why not, let's ensure that whatever length that we live, that we have a quality life and that people aren't taking advantage of us. And if you don't care about older people, care about your pocketbook, because all of the money that they're lining their pockets with is our money. It's tax, whether it's state or federal, it's ours.
Yeah. Thank you. That's so important.
Does the movie have a website?
Yes, nocountryforoldpeople.com, go figure. And you can also check out the Roar. There's a tab there that where you can sign up for Roar and be a part of it. If you want, to host a screening, whatever, we are open. Any educators out there, please get in touch with us. We're very open to it. Rick and I will do Q&A all day long. That's what we want to do. We want people to understand how it works. And we don't want to hold anything back because this is a human rights issue. It's really about that. It's about it's humanity. We're talking about community, which we've kind of lost.
Yeah. Well, it's great. Thank you. And we're really happy that you're finally bringing this to the world. That's going to be
I
terrific.
know.
I can't wait to see it. We will be airing the first hour as part of our film festival coming out this fall. So stay tuned for details. Sign up to our newsletter so you can be among the first to know about the film festival when it launches. The first meeting is September 8th with Mary Crescenzo's film. So we will be posting details on our website very soon.
Yes.
So
I love you guys. You guys, L's Authors are one of my favorite organizations because you are authentic and you really are the real deal. Classy and just heart-driven and smart and everything that you want in an organization when you're looking for really good information and resource. I cannot say enough good things about you.
Oh,
thank you so much. That's so
yes.
sweet.
That's
So I
really
wanted
sweet.
you to tell us about the other movie, My Mom and the Girl. Tell us a little bit about what is that about and where can people find it?
Okay, well, they can find it, you know what? People ask me that all the time. You could find it on Apple, and I don't know if it's on Amazon anymore. I mean, we were Oscar qualified. We won the PBS Fine Cuts Awards. We were on PBS for like up until I think a year ago, and then they changed over ownership, whatever. Anyway, I will give you a link because I want everybody to see it.
Okay.
I'm happy to share it with everybody. Again, not a moneymaker. That's not the way I did it. It's about a day in the life of my mom and our our caregiver. It was the year that my mom lived with me. I call the best and worst year of my life. And it was right after my stepdad died and right after I was getting a divorce with my teenage daughters. So it couldn't have been more stressful. But
Mhm.
in that year, my mom really showed us what Alzheimer's looks like from her point of view, and we learned so much. And the fact that she's such a pistol, and we call it Team Norma, the woman that was my daughter's nanny, because I've always worked, became my mom's best friend and was a natural caregiver. She moved in with us and she would come home every day and regale us with these amazing stories of my mom who spent the afternoon with Snoop Dogg because he fell in love with her. She was singing to him like she always did and take her on the road. So these are the kinds of stories that she'd come home with. And this one story about my mom with a transsexual woman at 10 o'clock at night in East LA that happened was the most extraordinary event that was so powerful on so many levels. And when I would tell the story to friends, they would say, "Oh my God, you need to film that. That's amazing." I'd say, people don't need another Alzheimer's film." But I started to ruminate on it and I thought, this is so extraordinary because it really celebrates these three disparate women who have this moment that's so powerful and so full of love and funny and important that you can't minimize it and you can't that it throws the stigma right out the window for all three of them. They're all very disparate and very stigmatized in their own ways, and yet the three of them couldn't be more powerful and more meaningful to each other for that moment. And that's what it's about. And I said, this is a story. This is a story that needs to be told. So I think that the greatest thing was that after every time that when I was at the festivals, and I still hear it now, when people will send me a note or say, I saw your film. It was too short. What happens after? I want more, right? So you think, okay, that's a good sign. That's a good sign. That means they're invested and that means they love the characters and that they were there with them. And that's the best you could ask for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's a terrific film and everybody should watch it. So look for it. We'll put the link in the show notes.
Yeah, definitely. And if you
Yeah,
want to let me know if you liked it, I always love to hear. So, and
great.
enjoy Valerie Harper and also Liz Torres, who plays Irlanda, the caregiver. You'll recognize Liz. She's been on TV her whole life, and her and Val, I didn't even know, had done a series together in the 90s. So it was like they already had a relationship. It was gorgeous. They were like two teenagers. I'd be like, ladies, I said action. Oh, sorry.
That's great.
It's so much fun. And what about the podcast? Tell us, you've been doing it for 10 years, I think you said?
No, I've been doing it. We started December of 2019, right before COVID.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I'm going on almost 6 years coming up in December. Yeah. I love it. It came out of my mom and the girl because I felt like I started a conversation that was more uplifting than other conversations that I had seen, and I wanted to keep it in that vein. So I wanted to do something about love conquers alls, and that we can ride the waves. It's not going to be easy. I say it in the movie. It's not easy, but it's worth it.
Hmm.
It's like my daughter said after the year my mom lived with me, and
Yeah.
everyone said, "Oh, don't bring your mom in with your daughter. It's so hard and it's not fair to her." My daughter said, when I had to put her in assisted living, she said, "Mommy, I'm not ready for nanny to go."
Yeah.
If that's not a testament to
Yeah.
the value of caregiving, then I don't know what is.
Yeah.
Who are some of the guests that you have had on the podcast?
Oh my gosh, I've had
A
so many
lot.
people. Greg O'Brien, who I just love, who has been living with Alzheimer's a very long time. Um, oh my gosh. Oh, Lisa Gibbons. Lisa Gibbons, my episode with her, which was episode 6, we were nominated for Best Podcast in 2020 for the New Media Film Festival, and we won. I was like, what? How did that happen? Like, I didn't, we were just nominated. And it was my episode with Lisa, who I absolutely love. She was the first person I was introduced to before anything, when I found out my mom had Alzheimer's. And she said, let's have lunch. She had just written her book about her mom.
That's so sweet.
Yeah.
She
That's
said,
so
take
great.
pictures, take videos. It happens so fast. They start changing so fast. And like all of us, I was like, Lisa, that's your mom, not my mom. My mom and I, like I was like everybody else. I'm gonna fix this. I'm Supergirl, right?
Right.
So you go, uh-oh, delusions of grandeur. Yeah,
Yeah, we hear that from a lot of people.
yeah, yeah.
They're gonna be the one, like they say in the commercial, they want to survive, the first survivor is out there.
That's
And
right.
one of our authors said, my wife's gonna be the first survivor. I mean, he
I
believed
thought
it.
I
Yeah.
And he
thought the
was
same.
devastated. Yeah, when he realized that he couldn't fix it, he was devastated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I decided if I wouldn't be devastated, I was just going to figure out how I'm going to now ride the ride. That was it. And I was
Right.
going to make it
Right.
the best ride that my mom could have. That's what I thought.
Yep.
That's what I wanted to do. So I also interviewed Marianne Suko and authors who I just love. Not once, more than one time.
More than one time. Yeah. We got
One
one coming
time.
out.
They're
Coming
terrific.
out soon.
Oh my God. I mean, you're right. Let me think who else. There's so many authors that are amazing, like, and scientists and people from like Scientific America and like on and on and on and on. I'm so proud of all of the guests that we've had, and they continue to come to me. I don't really search for them. They just come to me, and I mean, even like having Rick Mountcastle, I just reached out to him on LinkedIn. And I said, would you come on my podcast to talk about, chemical restraint? I had in a million years would think that he would say yes. He said yes, and so I think that I've just been fortunate to pull some really, really intelligent and authentic voices
Right. Yeah. And where can people find the podcast?
everywhere.
Okay.
All the platforms and YouTube. We do video as well, like you.
Right. Yeah. All right. Well, is there anything else you'd like to tell our listeners before we say goodbye?
No, I just want to say, if you're listening to this podcast, then you're smart and you got some good resource, and that's fantastic. You can't do better except come and listen to Love Conquers Alls too, because we make a lot of funny, and we also bring some good information too. We don't,
Yeah,
and
definitely.
so
Very
I
content.
always refer the best books that I'm given to. I tell Marianne and her team because she's the expert on that. I just know when I enjoy something. And by the way, I've enjoyed your books and
Thank you.
all of them that I've read from your authors are just so good. Tony Copeland Parker.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I love him. I've interviewed him several times, and I was honored to do the preface to his book. So it would
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
which was so, I've never done that, and I felt such an honor to do that. So
Yeah, it's terrific.
yeah,
Thank you.
yeah,
Yeah. And
Yeah.
they're on the move again. I don't know if you heard, but they went to St. Kitts.
yeah,
They
they're
left
staying
Sister
there.
Whitney. Yeah.
They're staying there. Yeah, that's another powerhouse team right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Well, he's the one I mentioned, the man that, thought he was going to cure her Alzheimer's.
I thought you were thinking of him
Yeah.
because we connect on so many levels. He and
I
I.
know. This is a small world.
Yeah, we connect because we were like, we got this. What? Don't worry about it. We're gonna take care of you.
Yeah. He's a remarkable guy and has a great story. So he's on All's Authors in our podcast, and he's also on Love Conquers All. So if you're
Yes.
looking for a story with a male caregiver, then Tony Copeland Parker is a good one.
I have several male, which I love because it's far, it's not obviously as common as the wives or the daughters, but I try to showcase that because I think it's important and it's a different conversation, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what my book is about, a male caregiver. I mean, I could have written it the other way, but I wanted to highlight the men's role in this because I had worked with so many great men in my job.
Right.
Knew that it wasn't what was expected. Most people are looking at the wives and the daughters, but we recently did a live panel discussion for All's Authors with three sons who were caring for their mothers, which
Yeah.
is another niche.
Yeah. Yeah. Very.
So,
It's closer to 40% than you would think. You know what I mean? You'd think, oh no, it's 70, 30, 80, 20. No, men are really doing this but yeah, so it's really important to highlight that. And I think that's important for
No, I
other
know they get short shrift. I know that that's true. They
but
get
it's,
short shrift, but there's some amazing caregivers that are,
yeah.
yeah.
And it's important though for other men to hear men talk about this. That's what I think is missing. It's like sometimes there's we just expect this out of women, and yet men are doing this too, and they don't always know how to get their needs met either. So it's important for other men to hear it. So I think it's great that you're shining a light on it, and we definitely are too. And that's critical thing.
Agreed. Yeah, I think representation is so important, and we need, whether it's younger generation sandwich, like I was sandwiched, but then there's even younger sandwich.
Yeah.
And so, and not everybody is older that you're caregiving for. There's people that
Right.
you caregive for that are not elderly. And
Right.
so, there's that scenario as well. And those all have their own unique, list of challenges that are different.
Mhm.
And so we need to talk about it more. Just need
We
to keep
definitely
talking.
do.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you, Susie. It was
Thank
lovely to have
you.
you on the show
Always.
again, and good luck with the docuseries. We can't
Thank
wait
you.
to air it for you, for our audience.
I
So,
look forward to
Yeah.
it.
yeah, we encourage everyone to sign up at allsauthors.com so you can get the info when all of this is going to happen with us, but you can catch the docuseries on your own beginning August 1st.
And then just come and we'll do like questions and answers and more
Yep,
things.
we're going to have a
Yes.
Meet the Creators
Yeah.
meeting.
And
Probably.
Rick will be there. Rick will be there, right? Or I don't
If you
know.
want Rick there, he can be there.
Yeah, it'd be great.
Don too.
Yeah, because Rick will
and
be on
Don.
the legal side, which is phenomenal.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I would
no,
love
it'd
to
be
have
great.
Rick. I think that would be awesome if we had all three of you, and then whoever wants to come, and it'll be recorded, so it'll live on.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
usually where we get all the listens, is like in the aftermath. So.
Yeah. I mean, I can speak to the legal a little bit, but Rick is really, he's
Right.
he knows it, and from a prosecutor, and also he was a district attorney in Virginia, so he has that experience as well. So yeah.
Right.
So while you can hear it later, boy, try and get there live, because those are always fantastic. So we'd love to have you. So as Marianne said, sign up at alsauthors.com.
Yep.
All right.
Okay.
Bye, you guys.
Thank you, ladies.
Yes, thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you for listening to Untangling Alzheimer's and Dementia, an All's Authors podcast. For more details on this episode, please see the show notes. If you enjoyed the podcast, please leave a review and subscribe to it on whichever platform you use to listen to your favorite podcasts. For more information on All's Authors, please visit allsauthors.com. While you're there, be sure to browse our online bookstore, where you will find hundreds of carefully vetted books on Alzheimer's and dementia. You can also find us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Please email your thoughts on the podcast to allsauthors@gmail.com. We are a 501c3 charitable organization, totally reliant on donations to do what we do. If our authors' stories move you, please consider contributing to our cause. Remember, you are not alone. One can sing a lonely song, but we chose to form a choir and create harmony.
Hi, my name is Christy Byrne Yates, and I'm one of over 300 authors of alsauthors.com. I'm also a donor to Al's Authors. I chose to participate in the monthly donation program because for me, it's easy and efficient. You can donate one time, monthly, or annually. Simply go to alsauthors.com/donate. So why do I donate? Let me tell you. The management team at Al's Authors is such a dedicated and passionate group of volunteers who receive no financial compensation for their hard work. They've gathered and promoted amazing authors who share about their journeys authentically and in many forms. There are books for children, professionals, family caregivers, and for those who've been diagnosed with some form of dementia. Al's Authors also produces rich content that is completely free through podcasts, special events, and a vibrant YouTube channel. Please consider donating to Al's Authors today by going to alsauthors.com/donate. And remember, you are not alone.